Hello, my name is Richard. I am your anchor for this particular topic from Life for Living Well. And the topic I have for us this week, I call it 15 traits of a focused person. Would you say you are a focused person by nature? Would your friends and family say you're very focused in nature or personality or character? So, why did I want to talk about focused person? So, I hope, firstly, to hope that the current event in our world regarding the coronavirus are not affecting friends and relatives too much to the point that affecting your well-being. So I hope everyone can be safe and these turbulent times come quicker to the end. I hope so. And this week, the topic I have for us is what I call 15 traits of a focused person. Once again, my name is Richard, and I will be presenting this particular topic for this particular week for you. If you have any questions or any query, please feel free to write to me to my email. You could just write to me to info at lifeforlivingwell.info. So let's get started with the topic that I have this week. 15 traits of the focused person. Before I go and list all these 15 traits, I do like to briefly explain what focused person look alike and what made them become like that, and how can you or me develop that in ourselves, because I believe that every one of us have the ability and potential to develop this trait in us, even though if we don't have it naturally. So when I think about focus, I think about it in terms of times or definition, which can be sound very simple and easy, but it's a very difficult concept to achieve or practice by any human being, especially in these current times of the world where we have so many distractions, so many activities that make focus very difficult things to do indeed. There are few things we can do better or complete without large degree of focus. So in reality, most great things that are being achieved is being done when people are put all their heart and mind in making it manifest. We cannot manifest anything when we diverting our focus to so many different areas or so many different things. It's difficult to make it come to reality. So, what are the things that make it difficult for we as a human being to maintain focus? Because when you look around very well with a wild animals or nature indeed, there's a particular focus energy around this being that make them to protect their infant or their generation for another generation. Either they are looking to have a prey or food to eat, or eating for their own survival. So they put loads of energy, a lot of focus to a particular point and then make it come to fulfillment. Lazio once said that 1,000 journey is started with a one step. So when we don't have a focus in what we're doing, we tend to be easily distracted by different influences, whether items or people or event or past or present or the future. Something that took us away from what we're doing in that moment. So I mentioned earlier that how the nature taught us how to be focused. So we can learn great deed of lesson by observing how some of the being in natures using focus for their own survival, and how it's allowed them to manifest what they truly want. So take for example an eagle. It will never be successful in catching any prey if he hasn't put his focus to a particular prey, and it's not just arrive on landing. He probably pay time to observe the object, calculate amount of energy and force, the distance that he has to cover before he actually caught the prey. He probably watching the prey for a while and already identified the weakness and vulnerable side of that prey, and he already calculate how long it's going to take him or her to arrive to the spot. So imagine that if he took his eyes away from this goal, it is impossible to achieve that. And if you an eagle that couldn't provide for his own infant, then they will have got no chance to survive before you release them for their own freedom, for their own life. The same thing with lions. Lions spend 20% of their energy to get 80% of their meals. So lion could sleep all day, and in the night you hardly hear their footprints. And then when the other prey in the wild is resting, that's when lion pound. And when they pound, they probably get the meal that will last them for a week or days. So this is an extreme of example that I can give you, but I wanted to bring it back to our own life right now, why we need a focus. And when you meet a focused person, the trait that they carry or they show more is what I want to discuss about in this particular podcast. So, why is it difficult for people to become more focused in their life? It's very challenging. It is important to talk about traits of a focused person and associated benefit. So not only listed the advantage of being focused or develop a focused trait or ability or character, I also want to talk the benefit that are associated with it when we develop this particular trait in ourselves. And I also want to show us how we can actually gradually develop this habit or this trait so that it become a weapon where we can manifest more things that we desire to do in our lifetime. So as we all know, focus is the ingredient to all what success in woman or individual endeavor. So I've never seen a great invention in this world that has not take a amount of focus and drive for an individual or collective people to make it materialize. So we cannot just ignore this particular trait and say it's not important. So I know you are waiting to say the list of what I have for focused person. So I put 15 things that have come to conclusion about focused person. You might have most of this list. You might have few of them. Relax. You can continue to work on it and develop it more in yourself. Number one, you won't engage in small talk, unnecessary social hookup, or pretentious. So you won't see these people get themselves in a small talk. It's not something that prevent conversation for them. These people are people that you consider them to be big picture people that are thinking how they can become or be a best version of themselves for greater good of society and for themselves. So these are not the people that they spend their time talking and gossiping about other people. These are not the people that you will find them to just be in a social group for appearance purposes. These are not the kind of people you will say. Eleanor Roosevelt once said that big mind discuss ideas, average mind discuss event. So small mind discuss people. So you have to decide, what are you a focused person? So a focused person, number one, they are not the people that engage in small talk. Small talk is not for them, because what taking their attention is more deeper than the small talk. So they are not the people talking about current event as the main driving of conversation of the day or the week or the month with other people. So number two, they do one thing at a time. So these people, they are also good in doing one thing at a time. You don't see them to be doing 3 or 4, 5 projects at the same time, or getting involved in so many things where they divided their energy all over the places. So these are the people that they are very good in prioritizing things. They put all the item or the project that they want to get involved, they put them into category. So they depends on how high, low, or medium the project falls to, will determine how much their energy they want to give it to it. I have a friend that claimed to be multitasking, but when he involved in other things, he keep repeating the same question, or you repeat yourself. It's very annoying that one of my friends, he claimed to be very multitasking, but the research shows that only 30% of the world population can they actually do it. But I noticed that when you're actually talking to him, maybe he was doing ironing and he's talking to you, he keep repeating himself, or you keep repeating yourself to him, because he's losing you don't feel connecting, that the person is actually listening to you at all. And you just feel like the person just needs your time and your attention at that moment to get them finish what they are doing at that time. So I used to help him by saying that, you know what, I really want to connect with you. I really want to talk to you. I really want to feel you. I would prefer you finish what you are doing. And if it's only we can talk for 5 minutes, please call me back. And then we talked for 10 minutes and it was great. Because at that time, the energy that is able to give into the conversation is quite different from the energy that is trying to spread all over the places. So the focused person, because they do one thing at a time, even though they have a lot of things that they want to get done, but they started with the most important one. So they do the difficult thing first from the list. As a result, they are highly productive and conscious people. So these are the people that they get everything done, but it look like they are not doing anything at all to it, because they started from the hardest one and they gradually they move to the next one, and they prioritize everything on their list or their bucket to do as the main thing to choose which one is more priority. The same thing with when you're inviting them out, they not only just say yes to everything, they are the people that they focus on how does this support the highest good of themselves and yours as well. And if it doesn't work like that, these are not the people that you will engage them in a frivolous event. Number three, they don't postpone decision or action. So what needs to be done today, it needs to be done today. So even when they are tired and they don't feel to do it, so they just feel like what you need to do today, you should never postpone it to tomorrow. And these are the focused people. And this is the trait. If you have all these 3 traits so far, well done to you. And if you haven't, you can easily develop it. I will show you how to do that. Number 4, they have mature emotional regulations. when people give feedback or distracting them from work at hand. So these people, they don't overreacting to the event that happened outside of them, because they have done enough work to have done some inner work within themselves. So they tend to be best people to be around in the times of storm, in times of crisis, because they don't react to the emotions, uh, event easily. So they are the kind of person that allow the emotion to sit in with them and let it pass through them without reacting out about it. And these are the people that you need in your life sometimes when everybody are taking side of event. These are very people that they can be objective, even though they feel destructive about the experience, but they can still be objective by do what is right rather than being right. Number 5, they don't take things personal. And it's true, most of the conflict in relationship and in friend is conflict of personality, where one person is highly sensitive and they take everything, every action, every thought, every behavior personally, and they act out in opposite of that and that thing. But these people, the least thing they do, they seem to be more understanding. They seem to seek more understanding rather than blowing up their own ego or self importance. So what I'm trying to say is that number 5, they don't take things personally. So they are the kind of people that they can easily forgive you, and they can see your point, and they can allow you to express yourself. Number 6, they keep small and able group of people or contact. As a result, they don't seek validations. So everybody likes validation, but these are not the people that go all the way to seek validation. So these are the people that I noticed that they rather do things that is what noticeable rather than looking for somebody to notice them. So because when you done something more worthy, you can no longer hide in it. Thing that not only benefit you, benefit everyone. You can no longer hide in this kind of thing, and people that benefit from it, they tend to actually give you when you are not even looking for it. Because these people are light within themselves, so they don't need the light sunshine to shine on them. Number 7, are you following me? They avoid toxic people or environment that would drain their resources or life. Meaning they know themselves really well. So this is one of the things that I also admire a lot with the focused people, because they have worked a lot to understand themselves very well. So they're really very good in detecting people that will absorb a lot of their energy, and they put appropriate boundary in place in order to protect that zone. And also when they also allow other people to come into their life, and those people taking or trying to be exploitative or taking advantage of them, they are not hesitate to let them go either. And these are the people that I call them woman lie detectors, woman being, so they can detect bullshit from distance. So, and that take me to number 8. Number 8, they are present people. Past hold no water in their life, and future not exist. They are in touch with their body, mind, and soul. So these are not the people that you call them stoic, or people that are disconnected from themselves. They truly know themselves. They know what they feel. They know what they sense. They know what they touch. So these are the people that they live their life in the moment. They don't let what happened in the past to control them. They don't longer even worry about the future or what the future holds for them. So sometimes you see these people, they come across as very calm, relaxed, and what make them be like this is most of the thing they do is to be conscious and be in the moment. What I mean by that is whatever they do, they tend to make sure that they are present in that moment. So most people let's say they go to the church, but they want to be in the river fishing. So why go to the church? You should have just gone to the river, and they will be in the river fishing. They will be thinking what to have for dinner. These are not the focus people. Focus people don't do this. You don't see them were using features to escape in the moment, or using the past to escape in the moment. They are the moment people that just being present, and they don't try to put a label to things. They don't try to judge things. They just allow things to be. Number 9, they are very diligent. They are not impulsive when making decisions. So if you are not a patient person, focused person might be very annoying to you, because these are not the people that make a decision on impulse. These are the people that they have control over their own impulse, and they make the decision based on intuition, based on intelligence, based on logic. So meaning that you take your time to observe the event and take the information in and analyzing in real data and come to the conclusion what the best choices to take. Number 10, we are getting to the end of it. They don't get involved in other people's business if it doesn't involve them. So these are not the people that you will hear that they spending their energy and time in other people's business or drama. So in fact, they are very smart in not even giving you a chance to bring your own drama into their life by having a boundary appropriately with you. And even if they truly love you and you're already in their own cycle, they will voluntarily create a distance from you and them so that you don't constantly bring your own drama to their life. Number 11, they are realists, optimists. They avoid illusion or escapism to run away from reality. So these are the people that some people will call them boring because they don't do things on spontaneous or impulsivity. But these are the people that they are very realist. They deal with what is in front of them right now, not the possibility of what will be tomorrow. So you might say they might not be overly imaginative like a lot of other people we are, but to be a focused person, it means being a moment, being a present, and accept the reality rather than what you want it to be. Number 12, they have a very strong boundaries with themselves and others. So these people, I call them boundary sector. So they are very good in setting boundary for themselves because they tend to be governed by their own value, principle, and ethics. And because these are something within them, it influences a lot about their choices and behavior. Number 13, they are a good friend, partner, son, daughter, colleagues, human being. So these people, if you are lucky enough to have them in your life, you do have a friend or partner or son or daughter or colleagues that govern their life in ethics and values, and definitely will always cover your back. And these are the people that when they give you their word, they truly mean it. Number 14, they know when to end a project or relationship without overly sentimental about it. It takes a lot of focus to keep going when tough times arrive. They don't quit if it's worthwhile goal to pursue or complete. So, and that is number 14. And that brings me to the last of the 15 traits that I put down for focused person. They are habit creator and routine guru. So these are the people that they involve their life involved by series of collection of good habits, which they follow religiously and they put in place in their own life. So I'm challenging you. How many of these quality of a focused person do you yourself have in your own life? It's something that you can develop if you don't have it yet. And if you have all of them, well done to you. Great job to you. Personally, I don't have all of them. I have some of them and I'm working on some of them. But I sense that if we're able to develop this trait in ourselves, our own experience of life can be much better and improving. So there are many more I can write about the traits they have developed or acquired, either nurture or nature. Why won't you work on it yourself to see the shift in your own life? So it is important to continue to see whether our path that we chose, making our life meaningful or giving us a pleasure or joyful experience. And if it's not, what's stopping us challenging ourselves and try other way around? Meanwhile, why being focused is very difficult and challenging habit to have and develop. And it's true, day to day. Days last week or 2 weeks ago, I have a chance to use the public transport as I'm on my way to the airport to catch a flight. And because I left work so early and using the public transport, I tend to like to walk home. So and I noticed from the bus stop to train station, even to the airport, even in the plane, I noticed that everyone just buried their head on their phone. Some are just you can use. By chance, I saw one young lady with a phone. She wasn't even looking at the picture she was looking. She would just try to do something to distract her from the moment that she sat down in the train and the train just going and she can't do anything else and can't stay still but just browsing around. And I also see other age, and there were so many different demographic age that I saw. And you saw people in their 50s, their 40, and then you saw someone in 14 or in a 16-year-old, and then you thought that every one of us are having the same challenges. That focus is becoming a very challenging thing for anyone to maintain. How come we do not see what we are doing to ourselves? That's the thing that always come to my mind. Hardly anyone take a notice another human being next to them. So what was strange to me is that people don't even notice or pay attention of another person standing beside them or sitting beside them or in front of them. They just bury their head on the phone. I hope that this particular podcast will encourage someone to develop their own focus traits. These traits are enviable, but they are also doable. So if you have all of them, well done and congratulations to you. If you have some of them, keep working on yourself and keep working on it. And you see how it brings more joy and more pleasant experience to your own life. So I hope that this particular podcast helps somebody, and I wish you all to have amazing week. And thank you. This is a very long podcast, but whatever you do, you can always write to me at info@lifeforlivingway.info. Have a great week. Thank you.